What's up, everyone? Welcome to the GHG Geekdom Gamescast, our last E3, but it's going to be an interesting one, we'll say, because of the pandemic and everything happening. As always, I'm your brother Myke, and with me, with the whole panel, but starting with Travis Moody. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are we?
How have you been, man?
Great. It's E3 time, so even though I'm not there with Artez, so we went like 6 years in a row or something like that, and I think I've been to 8, 9. Yeah, even though I'm not going to be downtown going to parties and stuff, it'll be cool to access almost the same stuff. It's almost surprising, Myke, that most of the publishers signed on for this. Other than Sony, Artez, everyone, almost everyone signed on.
Yeah, almost everyone. And then Jeff Keighley's doing his own thing, but we'll talk about that in a second. As Moody mentioned, Artez is here. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How is everyone doing?
We're doing a little bit better than you probably out there in the Nevada desert, I'm guessing. But you're in your central air, so you're good, right?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
And then joining us again, Mr. Jamison Weir. How are you, man?
What up? Doing all right.
Playing some Disco Elysium, as we talked about off pod.
Disco Elysium, Returnal.
Right.
Returnal's like a weekly thing. I'll jump in like once a week with a buddy to pass a controller to, so I don't break it.
How far are you in it?
Third level.
Third level? Oh, okay.
Biome, I guess is what you call them.
You are further than me, so that's pretty cool. And joining us for the first time, Matt Robb. How are you, sir?
Howdy, guys. Not too bad.
You are a PlayStation player as well. You were talking about playing Returnal also. I've always been a Sony guy.
I've got everything, though, so.
That's cool. I have an announcement to make, actually, for the Gamescast audience. I, too, have everything now. Thanks to $AMC stock. Went up over the weekend. I cashed in and was able to get a Series X. I actually got the bundle for Call of Duty, even though I have Call of Duty, but like it was like the only thing that dropped that day that I sold my stocks. So like for GameStop, I don't have the GameStop stock, but like they were like launching that day and they only had bundles. I was like, fuck it. So if anyone wants to buy the controller that you get with Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops, hit me up. But yeah, I'm a all systems guy again, as I like to be every generation, but it's like I thought it was way earlier, and I'm glad because I've been playing Biomutant real quick. I'll just update, and on the 1X I couldn't hit 60 frames per second, which was a bummer, and 30 I just feel like I feel like I'm more of a frames per second guy than graphics guy at this point. I'd rather have frames per second, and it was like hitching a lot on 60 on the 1X, and it was kind of a bummer. So like I dropped it down to 30 for like 4 or 5 hours on my run, and it just feels weird. It's something you can get used to, but it's one of those games like Cyberpunk that's kind of in between generations for me. But it's kind of a okay game to begin with. I was kind of disappointed actually for the first 10 hours. Like as far as the combat goes, like the gun shooting, the melee, all that stuff just feels really bare bones and really, you know what it is? It's the sound. The sound on the game, it doesn't give you that hit feel that like just these bigger AAA studio games have, like Call of Duty and even Returnal. Like there's no weight to the combat, and it just feels kind of floaty and disappointing. But after a while, I would say where this game shines is like 10 hours in. I hate when people say this, but like 10 hours in, like when
that's a long haul.
Yeah, when enemies start really coming up, and then you get like more of a variety of your attacks, the game really shines in like the crowd juggling, crowd control, and just using a combination of your melee, of your bio powers, your psi powers, and your shooting and your range power or your range abilities or weapons to like, you know, figure out how to handle like a bunch of enemies on screen at once. And I will say, like, it's way more fun to fight the huge monsters in that game than it is to fight the other.
Is there any character dialogue in that game?
No, well, okay, so the characters speak, but the narrator just translates everything to you. That's kind of like Simlish,
okay.
like
Well, that
gobbledygook.
narrator sounds obnoxious.
Yes,
That's
it is
a
actually
big thing that, yeah.
it is actually a crappy point of that game, dude. It's kind of a bummer, man, because like the art style and like the character designs and stuff are pretty fresh. They're really unique and cool, but like you don't get a feel for, you don't like fall in love with any of the characters because it's the narrator speaking for them, and it's so monotonous. They even patched it so in the update you could turn down on a slider how much the narrator talks, because they're like, okay, we understand that
That's
like
enough.
people probably don't like this. So and he'll
I think I get one time into him talking about like the flingy boingy or something like that, and I'm done.
yeah, dude, it's so annoying. It's like it's trying to be cute. It's weird because like it's like, who's this for? Because it's trying to be cute like a kid's game, but like the themes behind it are very like pretty dark. You have like warring tribes and like it's post-apocalypse. So you have all these like, oh, the humans like destroy themselves because of this one Texan oil company. But then like, yeah, you have the narrator calling every gun like the shooter majigger and like the flingy boingy. I like that one. That's really funny. So it's kind of weird, but there is a cool variety that happens later on in the game, especially when you go to different worlds. There's different mounts. I won't spoil what kind of mounts. Like you'll have your standard like horse type mount, but then you kind of get vehicles too, which is kind of cool. And the pacing between getting the first vehicle and another vehicle is pretty good. And the variety of enemies is pretty interesting too, and all their designs. So it's a real mixed bag. But the good stuff is really good, and the annoying stuff, like you either live with or it's gonna break your experience, I think. But the one thing that I will say is that like you just have to get past that intro, which they say they've patched to be more friendly pacing wise. But I have no idea because I played the original build of the game that came out for review codes. So
Early whiskey score, Mike.
Early score, I would say like a good 3.5, 3.75. And it only went up
That's
because
actually
in the
That's a lot higher than your description of it, kind of.
oh yeah, because as the time went on, like it got fun with all the stuff. Like it's getting fun, but like at first I was saying like 2.753 up until hour 7, and like
It just starts clicking or something for you.
Yeah, it
Good,
starts
good.
Gameplay loop becomes more.
Mm-hmm. And it clicks in a good way. It doesn't click and become, oh, this is finally playable. It clicks and it's like, oh, this is actually fun. Like I'm having a good time with this stuff.
That's how I felt out of PAX like 2018. We talked about that in the last episode. I think I gave it like that little demo. I think it was 20-30 minutes, like a 3.5, 3.75, like a very strong title. So it sucks that it takes forever to get kind of to that level, but I'm glad it eventually did. I'm glad it didn't waste your time. You're getting the review early, and we'll have a full review soon, right? So
yeah, I'll have a full written review on geekshavegame.com. But we're not here to talk about any one particular game because we have a bunch of games to talk about because E3 is upon us, 2021. But much to everyone's surprise, I guess, we're back where E3 is still going. Even though things that seem to be opening up, it looked like, E3 in general was going downhill before the pandemic. So, let's talk about let's preview E3, talk about what we're going to be seeing and making some guesses about what's coming up pretty soon. We have some games that we've seen a lot more of than others. We've played some games that are being talked about at E3 through demos and stuff, and then we've seen a lot of like first impressions. But let's start on Saturday, June 12th. Well, first of all, I want to hear from Matt and Jamison. You guys big E3 dudes? Like, I don't know, even if you haven't gone, like, was it a big thing for you guys? Were you excited about it every year?
Love E3.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. That's all I had to say about it. Love E3. It's an exciting week, like big announcements, the big panels from, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and it's exciting to see like what's coming up next and whatnot.
Are you the same, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for as long as I can remember, like I can remember looking at like the game pros and whatnot as it came to June, and looking at all their E3 press coverage and stuff like that. And it's just exciting getting to see all these, new games that'll be coming out soon. And I personally, I'm going to kind of miss the old conferences. I don't know if they're going to continue with the all digital, but I enjoyed the kind of cheesiness that came with a lot of them.
Yeah. The weird moments on like.
Yeah, even if they were awkward, it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a favorite weird moment from E3s in past? I kind of like the Just Dance moments. Those are always fun. It's hard
like
not
anything Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's actually true. It's hard not to forget the dude from It Takes Two, or not It Takes. Yeah, It Takes Two. But when he made that prison game, just being like wild on the EA stage, that was pretty crazy.
Fuck the Oscars
bombs
or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. My personal favorite moment though last year was when John Barenthal brought his little pitty on stage, because that's the kind of dog I have. It was really cute.
Was that Diablo Immortal like don't you all have phones moment in E3 thing? Because that was ridiculous.
I think
that was a Blizzard only thing, wasn't it?
Oh right, yeah.
That could have been, yeah.
Yeah, usually Blizzard's not at E3. But let's talk about
BlizzCon.
BlizzCon, yeah, they got their own thing. I think they're kind of ahead of the game on having their own thing, right? Like BlizzCon's been a thing longer than any of the State of Plays or Nintendo Directs.
Well, Artez and I, the favorite thing we have, maybe not awkward or silly moments, but is going to that Bethesda party afterwards, man.
Yeah, that Bethesda party was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And if they did, I'm imagining what it would be like with Xbox. I don't know if because they're part of Microsoft that they would just axe the party, especially with COVID, or they would just make it double as great, like more money put into it, because they put millions into that party or whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's like, and Mike's been there too.
Yeah.
So, man,
we all got to play Doom Eternal that one time. We waited like an hour in line and almost didn't get to play, but we begged the PR person. We're like, come on, man, we're right here at the front of the line. Just let us play.
One more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best time. So that's what I'll miss about E3 this year. But I mean, I'm sorry for the guys in the Midwest, because you'd have to take a plane.
Yeah, all you West Coasters.
But we could have a party at my place, like a little.
You guys are laughing until the earthquake hits.
You guys go off into the ocean.
Yeah, and then you have beachfront property, and then that's where E3 happens.
We could have. So if you are on the West Coast and you know me and you're watching this, we could have an E3 party at the crib. So let me know. We'll watch press conferences and drink some beer and hit the pool. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Is Artez, are you excited for this E3? We don't get to go. Like, what's your opinion on this digital thing?
I'm cool with it. I'm interested to see what they're gonna show as far as it being digital for the first time. So.
And now you're not even in LA, so you're like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm in Nevada, yeah.
So it was good timing on your part, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of timing, let's go through the schedule of E3, of at least the conferences. We'll go through all the major shows and kind of guesstimate and predict what we're gonna see and what we're excited for and whatnot.
Are we gonna talk about the streams after the Horizon and all that? I just want to put that out there. Far Cry and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about Far Cry because Ubisoft is first with the Ubisoft Forward Saturday, June 12th. It's gonna be noon Pacific time. The three big games that we're all expecting to see are Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine. That's obviously gonna be a different name for obvious reasons, and Riders Republic. Let's talk about Far Cry 6. What does everyone think about that trailer? The gameplay stuff. Moody, you just watched it and you have the background, so let's start with you.
So it's a Far Cry game. We didn't know. We knew it was going to be a Far Cry game because of the title, but we didn't know exactly what it would be like. But it doesn't look any different than most of the Far Cry games. But that's kind of the consensus here. It's I don't know. Far Cry 5 I was hyped about because it kind of had the God hates geeks overtones, and but after a while it was just the same stuff. It's Ubisoft. You're doing tasks and fulfilling things, and there's an overarching story, and you forget about it because you're blowing up shit. It seems to be the way here. We got Giancarlo Esposito. Am I saying that correctly?
Esposito.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
and
Gus
Moff
Fring.
Gideon.
It's Gus to those of us in the know.
Gustavo.
Gustavo Gideon. And he's probably not going to be in the game as much as we thought. He was it seems like bait and switch kind of, because we after the deep dive we saw, he was in the trailers, but he seems to be like a story character and not the main character. There's Danny. I guess she was like Daniela, so it's a female protagonist, I think. I thought it was going to be
or you can be male or female protagonist.
Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, well, maybe you just talk about it. I don't know. I was just like, maybe you know more about it than me. I like the aesthetic of it. It seems a lot going on, a lot of cool stuff, but it looks like it's going to be another overwhelming, just gigantic map with, tasks and stuff. I don't know. I'm interested, but
That seems to be the thing that Ubisoft is like really good at, is just making really solid games that are just rinse and repeat, unfortunately.
Yeah. We past guest of the show, Dan Witt said they're just basically like meat and potatoes games. Like you just kind of like change it up a little bit, but for the most part,
like you're going to get a quality game, but it's don't expect a whole lot of substance out of it, I guess.
It's like the chain restaurant of video. What would it be? The TGI Fridays, the Applebee's. Maybe Far Cry is TGI Fridays. Maybe Assassin's Creed is like Buca de Beppo.
Or Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. Yeah, sometimes it's Red Lobster when it's a Black Flag or whatever, maybe. Is anyone a big Far Cry player here? Did anyone else play 5? No? Seeing a lot of
I really like
it.
3.
I think I got like 10 hours into it, but yeah, I just kind of tapered off of it.
Damn.
Yeah, the series never interested me at all for some reason. I just never really got into it.
There's a CD-ROM gun.
I guess
the Macarena gun.
Everyone's more of I feel like everyone's more of an Assassin's Creed person. And like I talked about 2 months ago on the podcast, I don't think it's my thing, but I think Far Cry is my Ubisoft franchise of choice, I guess. Oh. I played 5. It's weird because I wouldn't say I loved any of these. Maybe 3, Jamison, was fun. And I do like that this one has more island vibes. And we'll have that feel of like hopping to different islands and stuff.
I feel like a lot of people hopped into Far Cry at 3, and 3 was a really good game. And I think that's kind of where they just continue to try and, continue doing that same success and repeat it over the same games with a different story.
Yeah.
Or different locale.
100%. And it's more of the same here. But they do have, if you just like shooting shit, kind of like that Outriders review that went up today. Shout out to D. The title's like shoot some shit or something. So it's like if you just want to shoot some shit, and there's always creative ways to kill people in these games, and the characters really stand out. It seems like kind of like your Mr. Miyagi type here. The guy, I think it's like Juan. I don't know. Yeah, someone help me here. He's seemed like a very colorful character. The guy that's kind of gonna guide you and provide you with weapons. So if you like that kind of thing, like over the top supporting characters and a pretty linear narrative and then an open map, the horse. How many times have we ridden a horse in Far Cry? It's usually like an elephant or a tank. I actually saw a horse and I was like, I don't remember too many horses in Far Cry.
Yeah, I'm more
one of those weird things.
Yeah, that's kind of a new thing. It's usually vehicles, I feel like. Yep. A lot of like Sea-Doos, a lot of
animals
like
and primal. Yeah.
Hoping to pull in that Red Dead Redemption crowd there.
Yeah. And then another thing about this game is they're gonna have like metropolitan environments. Usually Far Cry stuff is very out in the boonies, whether it be island boonies or like Montana boonies. So it's gonna be interesting to see like a whole ass city that's not post-apocalyptic. There's a civil war going on, but it's gonna be populated. I wonder how they're gonna pull that off. That should be interesting. That's kind of a new thing. And I guess we still have our quota of Run the Jewels being used for every trailer.
Everything, man. I heard that, and I was like, "Here we go again."
Technically, DJ Shadow.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
DJ Shadow, but featuring Run the Jewels for sure. Even though like Rage Against the Machine has been in Tony Hawk last year, and like they have a song called Guerrilla Radio, and that's exactly what is happening in the Far Cry 6 universe.
Oh,
That would've been a good one.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't make these.
I want to touch on something. Is I would die for that little wiener dog in a wheelchair.
Yes. Yeah. That's
That's
a
my
cool
guy.
thing. We never had any
a
fun
little
pets
sidekick.
before. Do you think we'll be able to pet them, Jameson? And will that be a make?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
They didn't show that adorable little dog in a wheelchair, and you can't pet him.
I say I'm pretty sure you could pet the dog in the previous one, right? Because
Yeah,
you had
that's
your
true.
dog sidekick.
Yeah, that is true. Could you pet
You
the
better
bear?
be able to.
Ooh, could you pet the bear? Hopefully you were able to pet the bear. But yeah, that's fun. Maybe I wonder what other crazy animal sidekicks, because that's becoming a thing too.
Something I got out of the trailer is I feel like it's trying to verge on going a little bit more outlandish, especially near the end with the weird guns and the rockets shooting out of the backpack or whatever there at the end. And it gave me like almost Saints Row vibes.
Oh.
And I feel like they need to embrace that a little bit more. Just go ahead and go balls to the wall crazy with it, as opposed to
Just let
trying
me
to
be
do
Iron
this
Man.
somewhat serious narrative along with, oh, we're gonna do some weird shit over here too.
Yeah, because they always had their offshoot games where they do the weird shit like Primal, right? And Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon was awesome. I feel like they could go more of that route and just be tongue in cheek, stupid, kind of like Borderlands.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
they said it so serious at last E3 or whenever they revealed this with Giancarlo and how everything, like, my son is going to take over this continent, this country, and like, it's real deep serious cartel stuff. And then now we're like at floating backpacks and dogs and wheelchairs.
It gives you mixed vibes, like you don't know what they're going for.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah, that first trailer was very dark. Maybe that's why everybody's getting mixed signals from, because that first trailer was very dark, where the son holding a grenade and pulling the pin out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nailed it.
It'd be funny if you pulled the pin out and then like the grenade grew wings and became a fairy and then just launched to someone. Like, okay,
it reminds me of that open world, the way Matt describes it. What was that open world game that is on the island that you can kind of do crazy stunts and stuff?
Just Cause?
Just Cause?
Yeah, there you go.
Cause, yeah.
Got a little bit of Just Cause here, right? Towards the end, right?
Yeah, maybe they're going towards that. I think that's a good idea. Like, they really should embrace that because that stuff is fun, but not a lot of people get to play that because they look like offshoot games like Blood Dragon. It's I feel like only like really in the know gamers get on Blood Dragon and Primal and stuff, and the numbered series get way more attention. Maybe, I don't know.
For sure.
Talking about numbered sections, so we saw a demo of Far Cry 6, so that's why we talked a lot about it. But some of the stuff we probably won't have much to say on, like Rainbow Six Quarantine. Does anyone know, or does anyone remember when they dropped this news to us in E3 2019? They said they were building on the Outbreak mode in Siege. I do not play Siege. Any of y'all play Siege?
No.
I know the people that love it seem to love it, but
Yeah.
I never touched it.
Yeah, and it, for coming out in a ho-hum kind of way, they seem to have really like listened to their fans and kept building on it and stuck with it, which is really cool. So they're going to change the name, obviously, because everyone's going to have PTSD from that name. They haven't said if it was going to be zombies, but that's what the Outbreak mode was. So we're going to be hearing more about that. And then Riders Republic. This was like something that was announced in 2020 in that one Ubisoft Forward.
So bizarre.
Yeah, it's like one of those steep.
That presentation was
kind of
they
like
hyped it up, and it was people on bicycles doing stunts. And I'm just like, okay.
And that's all the gameplay we've seen is from that presentation, and it wasn't a lot. It was just like, we got bikes, we got everything. Like, name your export, we got it. And it's gonna be a republic of us, and it's gonna be like steep. So yeah, that's what we're getting from Ubisoft. But there's one wild card, gentlemen. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh man.
Does anyone think we'll hear anything?
I'll
That
believe
game
it
has
when
been
I
in
see it at
limbo
this
too
point. No way.
long. That game has been in limbo for so long.
Yeah. What is that game even? I saw some pre-alpha footage for the first time, watching some IGN video to prepare for this podcast, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know that existed. So like that never even got out there.
When they announced that, they announced that back in what, 2012, 2013. It's been a minute.
Like
1992.
Yeah, probably. when was the first Beyond Good and Evil? When did that come out?
So I remember I saw it at the Ubisoft press conference. I was sitting in the crowd.
Oh my god!
Watching that trailer. It's been that long.
All right,
At this point, I just feel like who could care? Like it's
a lot of people still do. We're talking about it right now. Apparently, Beyond, Good and Evil 2 is like, it's like the Splinter.
I love the first one. The first one was great. I love the first
how
one.
much does this second one seem like it's anywhere near the first one besides the characters? Does it seem a lot?
The thing is, they kind of screwed it up. They should have just made a complete sequel instead of trying to make it a prequel. That's where they messed up at right there. They should have just made a direct sequel.
All right, let's get a thumbs up and thumbs down right now, real quick from the cast if we're gonna see Beyond Good and Evil. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh shit! Okay.
Well, what they should have did was what a lot of games are doing right now, like Mass Effect and stuff, and hopefully Metroid, is remaster the first one, so a lot of people who missed it could get on it, and that's kind of how you set momentum. Because of course, we could talk about EA later, but Mass Effect Andromeda, people didn't care for it. A lot of people didn't, but you bring back the Legendary Edition, so all of a sudden having an N7 backpack like I do is cool again. And then now you can come out with Mass Effect, the rebranded one, or 4 or whatever. So Beyond Good and Evil certainly needed something like that after all these delays. Like, just go and remaster that one, and then kind of like swing that momentum towards this, and it gives them more time to work on the prequel or sequel, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm sure every company is thinking that, right? Like, if they're coming out with some new sequel from some old ass IP, you have to remaster it, or
especially with Switch, because everybody wants everything on the Switch, so it's money in the bank.
True. All right, so that's Ubisoft. Coming up next that day, on Saturday, will be Gearbox Entertainment. This one is kind of up in the air of like what the hell's going to happen. Like, we don't know anything. The company that just has Borderlands and Battleborn. What are we going to see from them?
Battleborn 2.
They're kind of they're
we
also
can always hope.
Battleborn 2, free to play on mobile on iPad. Apple Arcade is coming. There are rumors of a Tiny Tina spin-off game. They trademarked Tiny Tina's Wonderlands last year, fueling those rumors, but it's completely hearsay. They haven't said anything. They also said they're going to make some Borderlands adjacent games. But that could be anywhere from like a whole spin-off to like another Telltale Tales from the Borderlands thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
But for both 2K and Take-Two that they're going to be releasing games for, they said that new IP is coming. So that's pretty interesting. And then we also have the Borderlands movie that is, I believe, in production right now, that Randy Pitchford's involved in. We had a leak actually from Tilda Swinton, I think, or Kate Blanchett. I get them confused, and one of them's in the movie. But they released the first image silhouetted of what looks like to be the Siren. I forget her name. That game franchise is so forgettable, except for like
Lilith
name characters. Yeah, Lilith right there.
They showed a lot. I say there was more than just that one silhouette. They showed like 4 or 5 of them.
Did they show Roland?
I don't recall Roland. I know they had Krieg. I know they had Tiny Tina.
Are you a big Borderlands guy, Matt?
Yeah, I really like the Borderlands games.
Cool. What are you hoping for? Would a Tiny Tina spin-off game be cool for you?
I mean, not as a game, maybe like DLC, but I don't feel like they need to really expand and do a whole entire game on it or anything like that. Like, they already have their 2 season packs right now. I know the first one is still priced at like $50.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
So yeah, I enjoyed 3. I know a lot of people are kind of tepid about the story and whatnot, but I mean, the gameplay was still there. It's still really fun.
Yeah, I reviewed it for the site, and I liked it. I felt like the combat felt a little bit better than it has before. Like
Question: is there a big jump in this game for the Series X?
I have not played it.
I know I'm kind of disappointed because I bought 3 for my Xbox, but I don't have a Series X yet, so I can't really upgrade since I have the PS5.
Right. Because I lagged behind so much on Borderlands, and I was traditionally a big Borderlands fan. That at this point, if I'm gonna go back in, I might as well go back on a Series X, and I don't have it yet. So I kind of like, I want to know if there's a huge jump because that might kind of urge me to get one faster. You know,
well, didn't they come out with like a big next gen update or something for it? Like it was, that was one of the big huge things.
Yep, there's 2 SKUs now for PS5 and Xbox Series X that are definitively.
I watched video for it for the update, and it looks really nice, running really smooth at that 60 frames per second. I mean, I know playing it wasn't nearly that smooth playing it on my Xbox One X, so I'd imagine it helps quite a bit.
Sick. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump into that. I totally forgot that happens. I should re-download it on the Series X and see what it's like.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't have that AMC stock.
Even though there's like freaking 10 games I need to play right now, they all just dropped at once. Gearbox. Anyone else got any thoughts about Gearbox?
We're not excited about maybe a Godfall 2. I know Jamison is.
Listen up. No.
Artez played Godfall. Would you care at all about a Godfall 2?
You did a whole show on
I didn't even try to go back to playing Godfall yet.
I want a Godfall 1.5 where it's literally anything better than what it was.
Jamison, did you finish Godfall? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, nice.
I didn't have that much willpower.
I enjoyed a decent chunk of it, but we're going back to like the rinse and repeat thing where every world just kind of did the same thing, and you do have to force yourself through like the last 10 hours of it.
I feel like it would have been so well served as a free-to-play game, especially for anyone who got a PS5, because it did look really good and it played well. It was really smooth and stuff, but like paying a whole full price for that.
It got overshadowed by the magnificent Bugsnax.
Best game of all time.
For reals, it probably got overshadowed by Astros, if anything, like an actual decent game. Was that Moody? So I feel like you're muted. Moody, are you muted?
No, I'm not muted. It's just got nothing to say about Godfall. Let's move on already.
I don't know. I could dunk on Godfall for another 10 minutes. Anyways, what's up with those? Just kidding. So that's Gearbox. We'll see what they have. They're in a position where they can only surprise people because no one has any expectations. Sunday, June 13th, the next day, we are starting off with a bang. And that bang is called Xbox and Bethesda, showcasing a 2 for a little Falcon and Winter Soldier of games stuff. And we have the big hitters that we're supposed to hear from. Halo Infinite. Anyone was everyone here in the camp that was like disappointed about the last Halo Infinite gameplay, or are we all like waiting to see? Are we all still like kind of still excited for 343's new installment?
Well, it has to look great this time. There's just no. This
looked like trash.
Yeah, this is it. This has to. I mean, PlayStation fanboys. I guess I'm one now because I don't even have a Series X and I got a PS5. But they're gonna not care. But Halo Infinite has to look. It has to please Xbox fans. It has to look fantastic. Probably won't be a console seller. I think we've already gone past that already. You have what you have. If you can even find anything at this point anyway, but it has to look, I mean, it's a whole, we haven't heard from them in 11 months now from 343. So they've had a long time to, quarantine or not, they've had a long time to work on this and fix the kinks. And it didn't look horrible when it came out. It just didn't look next gen. That's the thing. It just looked like, whatever. It looked like a game for Xbox One, and it would have been great at, 4 or 5 years ago. But there was a lot that needed to be improved with the ray tracing and everything. It needs to really, like we said, we were going to talk about Horizon Forbidden West in a little bit, but you watch that in 4K, and it looks like a PS5. It looks next gen, and Halo certainly didn't look anything close to what we saw from that. So it has to blow our minds visually first, and I'm sure everything else will be great. Hopefully we see some multiplayer too, because that was the highlight of Halo 5. It was a game that no one cared about with the story, but the multiplayer lasted a long time. It lasted years. People loved it. So
what do you think,
yeah,
Moody? 999 Master Chiefs dropping onto a Halo? Or do you think we're gonna see some battle royale?
Battle Royale.
Is that even a thing anymore? I haven't even heard that term in quite a while. Battle royale.
I don't think so. I think everyone has picked their three, and it's Apex, Call of Duty, and Fortnite still, and then no one else is gonna make a good one.
Yeah, hopefully not. But no,
Bug Snacks is working on one.
God, I hope so.
99 Bug Snacks. Who could eat who?
Yeah, no, this is the time to go full throttle with Halo merchandise. Halo, let's see a Halo animated series. Like, this is it. This is the time. This is, go for it. Go for the gusto, not just the game. Like full, let's put all the stock right here. Halo, this is their breadwinner traditionally for Microsoft. Let's show that they care. Cyberpunk did that, and no one cared about the game as much, but they still had the anime. They still sold a lot of merchandise. They do that. You should do the same thing with Halo. Show that.
And then they put out a mediocre game.
Right. Well,
is the anime still even coming out for Cyberpunk?
What's that?
I said, is the anime even?
It is actually. So
okay.
Jeff Keighley's doing something with Netflix, and there's like a Tomb Raider one coming out. There's all kind of stuff coming out for. I think it's called Netflix Geeked something. They're doing a lot of like crossover stuff, so that's coming out soon. But anyway, my point is like Halo, they can't just sell this as like a mid-tier game. This is their breadwinner Microsoft exclusive. And they got
That's the thing.
It's their Kratos, they got to be able to announce it as such. And the way it's just been like ignored and looked and delayed, it's just it needs to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, definitely.
Boom.
And we'll see if it does. I personally want to shout out Psychonauts 2. It's going to be small, probably come out on Game Pass.
There you go, Mike.
Only a few people will care about, but I'm really excited for it. It's like, like one of the few confirmed Microsoft Studio first party things coming out. So, Tim Schafer's got his cult of fans, and we're ready for it. We're all excited. But I've talked about that before. Let's talk about Bethesda. Obviously, we're not going to show Deathloop at the Microsoft conference, right? We're not going to show Ghostwire Tokyo at the Microsoft conference because they don't want to advertise for Sony just yet, even though Sony gave them a video game on Gamescast recently. Maybe we share a little bit, but they're not going to. But we got the big ones. Let me do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down from the group. 3, 2, 1 on if we're going to see gameplay Starfield footage, and then we could talk about it. But 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think we're all in unison. Artez, you think we're going to see gameplay Starfield footage?
Hopefully.
See your hand in the phone.
All right, cool. What do you guys think?
Show gameplay.
Do we have any guesses what it's going to be? Are we doing Mass Effect but in Bethesda's thing? Are we doing Skyrim in space? Like, what could that even look like? Jamison.
I don't know. It's if it looks better than Skyrim, that's great. But I feel like everything they've put out has just looked like Skyrim again and again and again. They need to show off. They need to show off the new engine at this point.
So is Starfield first person or on third?
I don't think we know anything about
We
it.
don't know anything about the game.
But
that's about I don't understand why people so hyped for this game and they know.
Because it's Todd Howard.
Because it's Bethesda.
Yeah, it's new IP from Bethesda Softworks. So that's like Todd Howard's main crew.
And it's space.
Yeah, that's why we're hyped. Basically. So like the last time they had new IP was forever ago, right? From Bethesda Softworks themselves. Like we haven't got that in a while. So we've only had either Elder Scrolls or Fallout, and those were games that were coming out before the the Xbox 360 generation or whatever. So
yeah, here's the thing, Mike. I think they get knocked for their the facial animations. We talked about that last show, and kind of like the way their characters look. But I do like that they have a certain aesthetic that says Bethesda. Like I like that.
You can tell it's a Bethesda game.
What's that?
You can tell it's a Bethesda game.
Right. You play an Elder Scrolls, you play a Fallout, it's kind of like it's charming in a way. That you don't have to. I wouldn't entirely
Jameson's face.
I wouldn't entirely rewrite the whole thing. They definitely need a new engine for sure. And they definitely have to erase the memories of Fallout 76. So, give us an updated thing that actually looks good, but still have that same charm, the reason why we fell in love with their games in the first place, and do it in space. And I think it'll be fine. And if they have that deep, if it is kind of Mass Effect-y, but they bring like a new angle to it, they're kind of use what they're good at, deep story lore and stuff, we'll see what happens. I think I don't want it to be too close to Mass Effect or No Man's Sky, but that's hard to do because it's like, what angle in space can you go for? Mike, can you think of like anything?
See, the thing with Fallout and Skyrim, their two biggest things, or Elder Scrolls and Fallout, is that like they're huge open worlds where you could interact with everything. You have all these choices. That's why they're so buggy, is because like you could pick up cans and nuts and bottle caps, and like everything is like so minute. So when you blow it up to space, like we haven't seen Bethesda Softworks specifically do anything like that. So I don't know what that is. Because if it's traditionally going to be a Bethesda Softworks game, it would have to take place on one planet, which doesn't make sense because it's Starfield. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Like I'm intrigued. I wouldn't say excited or like unhyped or whatever, or like I think it's overrated, but I am intrigued what that team does in a space thing. Maybe they just keep the choice thing. They don't make everything open world as far as like planets and stuff, because then you get like a No Man's Sky situation. Because I feel like if Bethesda just did nothing more but expand the open worlds that they have, they will like break their engines. Like I don't know, like we're gonna see like I don't know, like what were the fun bugs, like horses flying. It'll just be like planets like clipping together, like looking super ugly. So I don't think they can.
So like Cyberpunk.
I'd say as long as it's not like game breaking, though. I mean, that's kind of what the expectation is out of Bethesda. I feel like they always expect these bugs that'll make weird shit happen. But
they got more money now, so they shouldn't have any bugs. Period. Since they got more money, they shouldn't really have any bugs in their games now.
I feel like when they take the more money, though, they just like try to expand it way too much and like breaks.
Let's say with how ambitious these games are, though, how open they are, it's hard to not have some bugs in there.
Yeah. But
I'm thinking something, Mike, along the lines that we think stars, right? We think like a light speed, changing timelines, alternating universes. That could separate Starfield from the games that we just mentioned, going into that kind of stuff. Like maybe just, all right, we've already seen this in Mass Effect, we've already seen this in No Man's Sky. Like just go, like think about what the stars do. It's a field of stars. Like kind of stick to that kind of thing. Like all hopping around and different waves and stuff like that of time and speed of light. And I think that could be something entirely we haven't seen. So
that's true. We kind of had a preview for it of what that could be with the Outer Wilds or the Outer Worlds, which is like a similar company that does make similar games, literally a Fallout game. So maybe it could be like that, yeah. But yeah, story wise, you might be right. That'd be interesting, Moody, I would say. But we'll see. We'll see. We have no idea. Also, we have no idea what else they're going to talk about. But we know that Bethesda is publishing a machine games thing, or I guess Microsoft and Bethesda. Indiana Jones, you guys think we're going to see some Indy? We're going into production on Indy 5 soon, before Harrison Ford can't walk anymore. What do you guys think we'll see? You think we see anything from Indy? Maybe just a trailer? What do you guys think?
If we see anything, I think it'd just be a teaser.
Yeah.
I don't see it being gameplay. I don't see it being anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe a trailer.
Another teaser? Didn't they already do one of them?
No, that was just kind of the glove kind of? It was a map or a glove or something.
It was like a
was
map
just
and
a
then the
hat.
hat and the whip and
Yeah, the hat and
It
the
might
whip,
give you
yeah,
an idea of the
yeah.
story, if anything else.
Yeah. I mean, see, the teaser was over the desk, so maybe like this new teaser could like pan up, and we'll see the far wall behind the desk, and then we'll get
Shia
the,
LaBeouf.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'm
just-
ready for another Uncharted game, so I'll be excited for it.
Yeah, you think it's gonna be like an Uncharted game?
I really don't see how or what other direction they could go with it.
That's very true. Well, yeah, that should be interesting for Machine Games, who this will kind of be their first third-person game, which is pretty interesting. But they're also good at like making video games about killing Nazis. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then
The best kind.
let's do 2 in a row. Thumbs up, thumbs downs. 3, 2, 1. Are we going to see Fable? 3, 2, 1. And then are we going to see Perfect Dark? 3, 2, 1. I think we'll see.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay. Oh, we got a double from Jamison. You know something we don't?
That's just hopes. Like
Okay.
I love Perfect Dark so much.
Do you want it to be a first-person thing, or do you want them to switch it up?
Nah, it's gotta be first person.
Okay.
It's
Just
gotta,
like that.
you know, but they gotta remaster the first one to do that whole dance again, so you get excited about the sequel.
Didn't they do that once already?
Well, I know
wasn't that like Xbox 360 or something? They did that.
Yeah, you can get it on
Do
Gamescast
it
right
again.
now.
Let's remaster the remaster.
I could play Perfect Dark on 64 on my Series X through Games Pass, and I tried on my One X, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm just gonna leave those good memories in the past because this feels old as fuck.
It's like going back and playing the original Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, that might hold up because it's like turn based, but even playing the original Halo still feels good. So, but I guess
GoldenEye don't feel good.
yeah, GoldenEye does not feel good. So that's true.
That's sad.
I mean, it's just remake it, I guess, is what everyone says. So if that's it for Xbox Bethesda, are you Moody? What's your prediction on like what your Bible score is going to be? Do you think they're going to hit us with a 4 or a drink score? I guess now are you think we're getting a 5, anywhere from 4 to 5 drinks? A presentation out of Microsoft?
Yeah, well, I think with the power of Bethesda, like you said, there's also other studios now, The Initiative and Double Fine and whatnot. I can't see them going any less than a 4, as long as Halo is Halo as we known it back in the day. That's the key. If they fuck up Halo, if you can forget the rest of the show, because it's not like we're gonna see an Elder Scrolls, which would have saved. Like Elder Scrolls is probably the thing that could save a bad Halo presentation, but even Starfield, we're not like attached to that franchise, so even if it looks amazing, it's too early to care that much. But they have to knock out Halo. That could set the tone. They did that last year. They showed Halo right away, or the year before, I remember. And although they finished with Halo 2 years ago, and they started with Halo, and it was the right move, it just didn't execute. But yeah, start off with Halo again. Don't make us wait. And it should be, what about, we haven't heard anything from Forza. I know they're working on, Forza Motorsport. Because
that would be the next one, right?
So I think, we'll have to see that, because it's not like Sony's going to, I mean, they could do a state of play with Gran Turismo 7. It's really their only first party exclusive that we're probably going to see. So other than Horizon. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing another Forza on the new system, because Forza's always been the game that they show that, all right, people don't care about racing games, but it shows off the technology and the beauty of the next gen console. So I think that's a good way to show us, like, all right, what's the difference here? Series X supposed to be more powerful than a PS5, show it. And I think Motorsport could do that. So I think that's a key game to show off a lot. So
yeah, we'll see. That day we have Square Enix Presents. That will be 3:15 Eastern time, 12:15 Pacific time. We got our, we're gonna catch up on Marvel's Avengers DLC, War for Wakanda, that was just supposed to come out this fall. Life is Strange, we just had that one Square Enix Direct, so those two we're gonna catch up on those. And then we got their bigger games, Babylon's Fall. That's the Platinum Games one. Platinum games are usually like pretty interesting.
Bayonetta.
Yeah. Bayonetta. What's that one that we played on Switch, Moody? Astral Chain. That was Platinum, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and they did the Metal Gear Solid, not Metal Gear. What was that?
Revengeance, I think.
Revengeance? Was that them?
Yeah, they did
One
Revenge.
with Raiden.
Yeah, with Raiden,
Revengeance.
exactly.
Raiden, yeah. So those games are all great. So this has to be good. So,
And then we have do you think we might see Forspoken, which is that Project Athia game that's coming out on PS5 that we finally got the name for, and it's a bad name, but whatever, but it's Forspoken. We might see some of that. We might see some more of Final Fantasy 16,
woohoo!
which we didn't see a lot of, but
what we saw was awesome. Though.
Yeah, what we saw was
dark.
awesome.
It's a dark, like, just to bring it back, it's like a very dark version because they went light. They went FF7 with 15, and it was the right move because it kind of segued us into the remake. But yeah, this is more of a darker version of Final Fantasy, like it's more adult theme-ish.
Leaning heavily on like medieval vibes, like very medieval vibes, which is but we didn't really see gameplay for that, right, gentlemen? So it'll be cool to see gameplay.
They showed a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It was like more cutscenes, but we saw we saw a little bit.
They had story intertwined with some gameplay.
Okay, cool. I mean,
and there's also the rumor that other Final Fantasy should be coming out or potentially coming out as well.
The Dark Souls one.
Yeah, that's true. Team Ninja is making a Final Fantasy Souls-like or Neo-like game in the first Final Fantasy's universe. So, which is like a game that I've never even seen, I don't think.
Hey, Jamison, hopefully there's a moody mode.
There better be moody modes in this.
I hope so as well.
Nice.
Inclusion is important.
Hold my hand, please.
I got you, boo.
Just do it for me.
The best casual experience of that kind of game is still got to be Jedi Fallen Order, right? I feel like it felt like Soulsy, but like you still wanted to play through it because it had cool cutscenes and action.
I gotta pick that up again because it got like PS5 update or something like that, where apparently it's really badass now. Like, and I need to pick that up.
Yeah, you should. I enjoyed the game. I really liked it. I think I
got more Tomb Raider vibes out of it than I did Dark Souls.
Oh, really? I feel like yeah, you're right. They also had like set pieces that were very like Uncharted and stuff, but the actual combat felt Soulsy, where it's like motion locked and stuff, and a lot of
You're doing a lot of dodging and a lot of parrying.
No, why not crossover a Toy Kind of Mood on our YouTube? Check it out.
Is that Cal Kestis?
Yeah, it's like a new deluxe GameStop version. So pretty cool.
So yeah, we'll see if we see that. And then we're getting a new IDOS Montreal game. So that, but very little leaks on what that is. So I have no idea.
Tomb Raider versus Hitman.
Man, it would be cool to see James Bond, but I don't think that's that.
That's EO Interactive.
Yeah, that's
only.
that's not that.
Yeah, that's IO Interactive.
Yeah.
We also Warner Brothers is going to be here. It's going to be weird because they haven't announced a time. It's not a full press conference. I'm guessing it's going to be like in between. We're going to get some bit of Warner Brothers. And they've been saying that people are saying that don't expect to see Suicide Squad kill the Justice League or Gotham Knights at E3. A lot of people are saying that they're gonna hold that for DC Fandom, which they're doing again this year.
Oh, so we won't see an Injustice game then, which we need another one of because MK11's amazing. And it's still amazing.
Because apparently, for at least for Summer Games Fest, Back for Blood is like the main thing that they want to show. It's being listed as its own presentation for Summer Games Fest. The only other thing is Hogwarts Legacy that they could pull out that doesn't really belong to DC, so maybe they could show that.
Didn't they do the Shadow of Mordor too?
Is there a new one coming out of that?
I don't know about that, but I mean, it's something, I guess, at that point. If they're going to have a conference with nothing to show, they could be like, here's this.
Yeah.
And they need to give a release date for the Lego game.
Yep.
The Skywalker Saga 2, they need to do that.
Nailed it. They should change the name, though. They should call it the Mandalorian Saga because that's what people care about now. So,
I mean, side tangent, that's what
the Baby Yoda, the Grogu Saga.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
they have a Mandalorian as a DLC, as you can play through the Mandalorian as a DLC maybe in the
Hopefully.
game.
unless they're like, oh, we're just gonna do a full Mandalorian third-person Lego game. That's gonna feel like 3-1-3 or 1-3-1-3, but on Legos. Is anyone excited for anything? Or you guys Back for Blood? Excited for Back for Blood? Jamison, Matt, Artez?
Nah,
No.
I'm not really into zombie games.
Left 4 Dead. Everyone's like, we need another Left 4 Dead. Now that they showed a Back for Blood, no one cares.
I think no one
Well,
wants
it's
to pay
not- it's not
$60
Left
for
4
it.
Dead.
It just doesn't fit me. It's not my style of game. I know plenty of people will be all over it, but that Left 4 Dead wasn't much for me.
What were
I
you saying,
loved Left
Jameson?
4 Dead when I was 13. You know, like
I'm excited for Dying Light 2. That's kind of zombies and stuff, but yeah,
We have a release date finally. Is it November or something?
December.
December. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that's Warner Brothers. Let's skip to Monday real quick. This is like the E3 live stream that you were talking about, Moody.
Yep.
We're gonna get stuff from Capcom, which Pragmata, great Ace Attorney collection. Any Capcom things that are super exciting to talk about? Really? No, not really. Street
No.
Fighter 5.
I mean, there are.
Maybe they'll tease the Resident Evil 4 remake. Maybe they'll tease that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
that's true.
please God.
Is that a good thing, Jameson? Are you
Yes.
excited?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really good. That's great news. If that happens.
How about a good Marvel versus Capcom game? Or because Marvel wants to hold on to their license, like maybe another versus, it could just be something versus Capcom, like Tekken versus Street Fighter. I don't know, something else, another fighter with the Capcom, but maybe don't have Marvel anymore. Have someone else. Like that'd be cool. I don't know.
Dragon Ball Fighters versus Capcom.
I think all,
Oh, that would be
Bandai
insane if they did
versus
Arxis versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Moody.
Mm.
I guess that's a no.
Uh,
My dream is a Dino Crisis remake in that whole Resident Evil 2 engine or whatever, in that remake engine. That would be legit. Why
do want to shout out Arxis right now though. Guilty Gear Strive comes out this week. June 11th. So by the time you watch this, a couple days later it comes out, and looking forward to that. And that should be the next time we do have a GEVO, which may be sooner than we thought. That will be the main event, and we'll talk about that next week. So I'll have my we played the hell out of the demo, but I'll have the initial impressions for it next week when we talk on more E3.
When did they do the demo?
The demo was a couple months. It was open. It was either maybe it was closed. I don't know, but I think it was an open beta demo.
Okay, I think I might have missed it.
Yeah, it was a couple. I believe it might have been 3 months. Actually, like 3 months ago.
I think it was March. It was in March, as far as I remember. But
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't get into it.
a couple months ago, and it's tremendous. Yeah, we just played the hell out of it because we got to use almost every character, and they almost gave us the game for the weekend. So it was pretty. It ran awesome on PS5. So.
Speaking of fighting games, are you guys really stoked for Take-Two Interactive and the possibility of a WWE 2K22 surprise smash hit on the presentation? You think it's possible, gentlemen? 2K22 bringing it back?
There's no roster anymore.
What's
They
that?
got rid of everybody.
They cut everybody.
Yeah, there's nobody there anymore.
Everybody's at AEW now, so it should be AEW 2K22. Well, look, the initial teaser, it looks the fuck out of new gen, next gen, whatever. That Rey Mysterio, did you see that, Jamison? That Rey Mysterio teaser for this game looks awesome. It looks beautiful. What was that? The Dave Beaudry game, the Battlegrounds. We're moving past, NBA Jam Wrestling now and getting back into the sim. We have our created wrestlers, so we could always create all the AEW guys until that AKI game comes out, which we're 2 years away because they've shown nothing of that other than
that hurts my soul that you just said that 2 years away from that.
AEW has their own, with Kenny Omega, their own video game YouTube thing, and they've shown nothing but mobile games and casino games. So I don't think we're getting an AEW game anytime soon. But in the meantime, we can use the 2K. It looks good. I mean, no, we'll see. Actually, 2K, was it 19? Was actually a great game, but nobody cared because the previous 3 were like horrible. And then the following year was actually when who was with him? Ukes left, and it was just Visual Concepts, which is the B team for 2K basketball, and it was atrocious. One of the worst games ever. So bless you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it looks good. I don't really care too much about WWE. Just like Jamison said, half the people are gone and half the people aren't really over, but the gameplay could be good enough where if you create your guys from other federations, girls and guys, it would be a lot of fun.
That's cool. And then the rest of the week we got Nintendo's doing a direct sometime. We have no confirmation on anything except for that they said specifically because of all the leaks of the Pro that we're just doing software only. So they're saying that we're not going to talk about hardware at all. So everyone's saying that the Pro announcement is like basically impending. It's imminent, but I guess not E3 imminent. Maybe a couple weeks after E3 imminent. So we'll see.
You think they're gonna release the Pro in August or September?
I don't know. Maybe. Right.
But the rumor I saw was September.
Huh?
I think the rumor I saw was September.
Okay, that's interesting. But there has to be software that supports that. So I don't know. Do you think they hold any talks of Breath of the Wild is the big one everyone cares about? Metroid Prime? Do we see any?
I would hope Metroid, but I'm probably just going to hold my breath and die with that. But at the very least, I would like for them to do a remaster of the 3 Prime games. Because that's been rumored for forever. And
Absolutely.
Those were amazing games.
100%.
They just need to pump that out.
Mm-hmm.
That would sell me a Switch Pro day one.
I missed that whole trilogy, so I would love to jump in and play those for the first time on the Switch. That would be great.
So good.
I agree.
But we're probably only going to get Splatoon 3 for sure.
They did announce that.
Some Nindies and maybe some Kirby's Pimp My
In
Ride.
the Moody homework, I saw something there along the lines of there's like an open world Pokemon coming out.
That's right. The Pokemon period piece open world thing that's happening, and that's for sure coming out in 2022, according to them.
I didn't even put that in the notes, Jamison, but good guess. I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah,
that blew my mind. I was like, this is what we've all wanted, isn't it? Like, it's just is open world Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually really love the last game. I mean, there's the problem with Pokemon is it's its own entity. So there's every week there's a Pokemon game that seems to come out. It's like Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Purple, Pokemon Bright Lights. It's like what are these? Unless you're fully indulged in just this one brand, what the hell is it's hard to keep up with what's going on with Pokemon. But Sword and Shield, those were fun games. Either Sword or Shield, whatever one you bought. That was a great fun little game. I had a blast with it. So
how about Pokemon versus Capcom, Moody? That's merging the two things that you like a lot,
Right, why not?
You got Hitmonchan versus Mega Man.
Get 1,000 characters and whatnot.
Well, Kenny Omega is sponsored. Hey, Kenny Omega is sponsored with Capcom. We could do AEW versus Capcom.
Or Pokemon versus AEW. You don't want to see AEW or Kenny Omega take on Geodude. Who's gonna win there?
Oh man,
take my money.
We also got Bandai Namco. I was just telling the fellas I just played the Scarlet Nexus demo right before we recorded.
Nice.
Oh, how is it?
Very fun. It is a very fun game. It's very it feels like a fighter but 3D, kind of like Jamison was saying before we started, like a Devil May Cry, where you're chaining combos together. A lot of it is working with your crew, and then you could use their little side powers and stuff. And there's 2 campaigns, and in the demo you could play both campaigns, kind of the prologues for both campaigns.
Nice.
And surprisingly, both campaigns are very different. The characters are different with different powers and abilities. Their party members are different. So it seems like it's going to be a dual narrative kind of thing going on, even more so than Resident Evil 2 was.
So it's not turn-based. It's free movement. It's not turn-based.
It is a character action game. It is a straight up combo-based juggling action game. There's RPG elements as far as like leveling up your party and stuff, and like what you could do with them. But a lot of it, it feels very much like the Final Fantasy VII remake. So you got a lot of like magic powers that you summon up with hotkeys and stuff. There's no real way to slow down the action, but the variety of attacks you could use are there. It's actually really fun. It's super crunchy too. Like that, the combat feels really good, especially coming off of Biomutant. It's like, oh, everything I wanted in combat's right here. So like,
so it isn't like Quantum Break Control, what we thought this would be the anime version of that. It's not.
It is, as far as like the physics stuff. There's a lot of like throwing cars and throwing dumpsters at people, a lot of chaining psychic abilities with sword abilities to keep a bar up. It seems intense and like one of those games that you really want to get good at, like Devil May Cry. But it seems like a lot of fun. But I don't know. I also got stuck in the demo, like as far as like finding out where next to go. So like it seems like the actual moment-to-moment gameplay is focused on these character action moments in these combat arenas. So I don't know about what the overworld's going to be like and what the other stuff in the game is going to be like. Maybe that won't be as good, but they seem to be emphasizing the combat, and the combat's real good.
I hope they release that demo on PlayStation soon, because it's only on Xbox right now.
Oh,
it's
it does?
on Xbox? Okay.
Oh, shit.
The demo's only on Xbox. It's not on PlayStation yet.
Gonna play it when we're done here.
Thank you, AMC, once again for letting me have Xbox. Speaking of good combat, Guilty Gear Strive. This is what you're talking about, Modi. That comes out on the 11th. So before E3, but they'll probably talk more about it, right?
Yeah, if you loved BlazBlue, you love Dragon Ball Fighters. This is the epicenter of what Arxis does. This is their favorite franchise, I think. The one that they push the most. So yeah, it's awesome. It's I think we got 2 weekends out of that demo. I feel like I played a lot of this game already. Yeah, it's just,
that was weird. That was like that time demo, right, where you had to like sign in at like 2 a.m. Pacific time and you could play 5 matches or some shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but then in the beginning it didn't work. We couldn't sign on for a while, but then once it worked, it worked. It's awesome. The characters are big, they're beautiful, they're fast. Yeah, if you played any, like I said, any Arxis game, I played the game with casual friends who they're not hardcore fighting game players, not hardcore gamers, when they were blown away by how awesome this is on PS5, because we haven't really gotten a fighter on PS5. I mean, I'm playing Street Fighter 5 on it, but it's an up-res PS4 game and it looks tremendous, but this is a flat out PS5 fighter. So if you
we get the Virtua Fighter this month on the
good mention.
That's
PlayStation
true.
Plus, yeah.
That is true.
How much does that cost if you don't have the Plus? Because I don't think I have it yet.
I have no idea on that.
Cool, because I'm thinking about grabbing it, but I don't know. Maybe you just join Plus and just download it. It's probably the cheaper way, right? So
yeah, that's the cheaper way to do it. Yeah.
Well, you could only play it if you have Plus. Like once you even though you added it to your library.
It's a free game for the month.
Okay, but only for the month.
No.
Well,
you'll have to keep your membership in order to play.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the PlayStation Plus membership, you keep it forever.
How much is that?
I think it's on sale right now for days of play.
3 months is
now,
$24, I believe, and 1 month is $7.99. The year is $60.
They always do sales, so I would keep an eye out on like.
Okay.
Sometimes you can
check out CD Keys if you want a cheap PlayStation Plus subscription.
There you go. All right.
You can find them like $20 for the year or something sometimes.
Just use the Slick Deals app. That's why I get all my cheap stuff from.
There you go.
Yeah, they always go on sale. It's kind of like Games Pass Ultimate. If you're paying more than $5 for Games Pass Ultimate for 3 years, just wait on like a some subscription sale, because that shit comes around a lot.
All right, thanks, fellas.
What else do we got? Elden Ring, maybe. We'll see. Tales of Arise. That's another Tales game.
Oh, that one looks tremendous. Artez, we were at the Xbox conference when they showed that a couple years ago. That looked awesome. Tales from Arise. You remember that one?
Yeah, that's another franchise that people love, right? The Tales games.
Yeah, the Tales games.
If I only played Tales of Symphonia, but I really, really, really liked it, Could you recommend me a Tales game right now?
I haven't played any. I've only played Sonic and Tails, so I don't think that's the right one.
There's a Tales game that's pretty good. It's an older one, but it has two protagonists. The story's pretty good. I can't remember the name of the game though.
It's not Vesperia.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's Vesperia, there's Berseria or something like that. You don't.
And then the other one with the girl where she turns into a wolf. That one's pretty good too.
Twilight Princess.
No, that's Sonic and Tails. He's a fox.
Sonic and Tails.
And then we might get a Demon Slayer fighter. Demon Slayer being now the most profitable anime movie ever to release on U.S. stateside.
Crazy. So it's in Japan, the game, but there's no details on the U.S. But it's going to be, if you're cool with the Naruto games, is it Firestorm? Ninja Storm games. They're kind of open arena fighters, so they're not your traditional 2D, side-scrolling kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, if you're okay with the open, that's kind of where, unfortunately, that's kind of where all those anime games go, and that's why Dragon Ball Fighterz is so good, because it's in the Arc Sys games. Because all these other games, they're just My Hero games. They're all so.
Oh, that My Hero game is so disappointing.
Yeah, they're One Punch Man, all those open arena games, like they just remember Jump Force. What a disappointment that was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's Demon Slayer's absolute favorite anime right now, and then it's an open arena one. So
the Fairy Tail. If you watch the Fairy Tail anime, they just released a Fairy Tail game a few months back. It's a turn-based RPG though.
Oh, okay,
It
great.
takes place right after the anime. It takes place right after the anime.
Nice. Oh, too bad I have to go watch 1,000 episodes before I play that though.
I feel like the last arena fighter that anyone really liked was Def Jam Fight for New York.
Hey, shout out.
Like, I feel like everything after that has been like, ugh, that's arena fighters.
Pretty much.
Yeah, bring that back. Navigate that licensing nightmare to get all those people back in. That'd be fun.
R.I.P. DMX.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the jumping off point. And then we got a possible state of play from Sony, maybe, which is like, what do we know that hasn't been announced yet? Everything's being pushed back. We saw that Horizon stuff. Everyone seems to be stoked about that. You guys?
Pretty sure that was the same thing as last year, though. I don't think they did anything for the E3 either, and it just went. It came, it went. They didn't do anything. It'll probably be the same this year, I feel like.
Yeah, they'll probably just do another state of play like they did last year. I can see them teasing the next Spider-Man 2 game, since Ratchet and Clank is about to come out next week. I can see Insomniac teasing that, trying to tease a trailer for that.
That's true.
But I want to know what Horizon Forbidden Midwest. I want to know what the boys over there to my left side think about. What do you guys think about that footage, man?
It was amazing.
Looks gorgeous. That's a really pretty game.
Yeah,
interests me a lot more than the first one did.
It's going to end up blowing up a lot of PS4s.
I know, man. That's going to be a tough one to play on your PS4, even your Pros. That is going to sound like a jet engine probably. Your console might turn into a dinosaur just trying to like run that fucking shit. The new features look cool. I like that whole mammoth dinosaur bot with like people on it. You have to fight that.
A lot of the underwater combat and stuff like that looked really great.
Yeah, do you think they're going to be the first?
Amazing.
Do you think Guerrilla did it and finally made an underwater level that's actually interesting? Well, I guess we'll see. They seem to be the closest ones. They're also addressing that whole Breath of the Wild, because Horizon came out with Breath of the Wild and everyone was like, you can't climb shit in Horizon, and now you have like the ability to climb things.
But you're climbing little yellow ledges.
As long as you see it,
they have to be yellow.
Focus, you can see places to climb. I just wish they would just do regular climbing though, even though you could just
let me climb.
Yeah.
We got a grapple hook though. That's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Grapple hook.
And we got a glider.
Yeah,
we got a glider.
That's cool.
And
Alloy's Arsenal is tremendous. I love it. I think it's so fantastic.
It looks like they're also like upgrading the melee, because the melee was like definitely. I mean, the game wasn't really built for melee, but people wanted it as an option, more of an option, like especially in the tight areas and stuff. So it looks like it could be more of a thing that I'm excited for. But yeah, the colors look great. I mean, the first game looked beautiful anyways, but it was also like barren wastelands because it was like technically Colorado, I think. But now with the whole San Francisco and tropical environments, those colors look awesome. I can't wait to play it.
The lighting is crazy in that game, and especially when she's traversing. And yeah, there's indestructible environments too. When we saw in the boss battle, so as she's kind of like grapple hooking away, like you mentioned, hopping around and gliding away, and all these pillars that she's jumping on are kind of getting destroyed behind her, and we do just see the different camera reflections and kind of like the different lighting aspects in there, the shade and everything. It really does feel like a next gen game, even though it is on PS4. And then I guess we can't go away without mentioning God of War, what happened this week too. So
yeah,
well, that wasn't a surprise though.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah, the most non-news news. They pushed it back to 2022.
I say the big news was it coming to PS4 though.
Yeah,
that sucks.
It's coming to PS4, which is like, which means it's another title where we have to deal with elevators and crawl spaces and stuff. So, but you know, hopefully that's all they're like sacrificing by like doing dual generation. I mean, like, I don't know.
God of War did it well enough in the last one that it wasn't much of a big deal.
It just would have been cool to see how they could have done it PS5 only.
Maybe they're waiting for the third one. Well, I guess they are technically waiting for the third one.
Well, the third one's going to come out between PS5 and PS6.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll do the same song and dance.
Artez, they showed us a trailer, you said? I don't remember.
No, they just showed last year the State of Play. They just showed the words.
Yeah, they just showed the logo and said 2021.
Yeah, okay,
but clearly that was a lie, and we knew it then.
Yeah.
Even the Horizon date, they said we're not married to 2021, so there's a chance that Horizon doesn't make it to 2021.
Right now, they're saying Horizon's got pushed back to next year. Right now, that's what they're saying on the Sony blogs.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Breaking news.
That's super breaking? Oh, crap. All right, well, that's Sony. EA, let's close out with EA for some reason.
In July? July 20.
Yeah, that's the next one, right? This is post E3.
Yeah,
EA Play Live, July 22nd. Who knows what we'll see. Maybe
is that in person or that's just digital, right?
Yeah, it's just digital. Yeah,
okay.
Just digital.
Yeah. Hopefully, lots of Star Wars games. Yeah, remember they did that behind the scenes thing? I think that was 2 years ago. Could have been last year, and it was like, we have all these games coming out. Respawn, and another Respawn, not just Jedi Fallen Order, but we had all this stuff coming out. And, we've seen stuff. I mean, we got Squadrons, we got Jedi Fallen Order, but there's still supposed to be a lot more. I want a KOTOR remake. Now that we got Mass Effect, right?
Those are coming, aren't they? I heard we're getting KOTOR remake.
We talked about it last episode.
Strong rumors that they're coming.
Yeah, KOTOR. That would just make my E3, even if E3 sucks. And then like a month, 6 weeks later, they're like, KOTOR. I'd be like, yeah, best E3 ever.
It'd also be cool because BioWare, after doing Mass Effect, and then if they do KOTOR, will be like, oh, they remind themselves what they do with it. Maybe they're reminding themselves what they do best.
How to make great games.
Mm-hmm.
KOTOR Andromeda.
Oh, God. Oh, man. But, yeah, so that's E3. It's still happening. There's still a lot going on. And we will be coming to you for the next 2 weeks weekly to cover the conferences next week, and then the week after mop up everything else. And then plus there's still video games coming out. Ratchet and Clank is coming out next week. It's super exciting. We're all getting that, I'm guessing. All of us are.
I will be.
Yeah, pre-order.
I think I'm getting it too at this point. There's nothing else to do on my PS5, so.
Returnal.
Yeah, you just
stop dying.
Bits and pieces. Okay. Bits and pieces.
Don't break your controller, man. Don't let Returnal get to you.
Need those words.
Yeah, and then we have Scarlet Nexus coming out. We still got games coming out, and then we're going to get a bunch of announcements too. So stick with us. GHG, Geekdom Gamescast will be here. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Matt, Rob, do you have anything to plug? You want to shout out anything?
Not really. No, I'm not anywhere except for here.
All right, cool. Jamison, it might not come out on the actual video, so you want people to know that on PSN you are at _Green Lantern.
Yes, sir.
And what are you
Which
playing?
Green Lantern?
What are you playing that people could play with you?
Nothing. Nothing.
How about
I don't
Disco
play with other
Elysium?
people, but I will add you as my friend, and I will enjoy seeing your name pop up on my screen.
I thought you were doing Disco Elysium.
You can't play that with somebody else.
Well, I mean, you're playing it though.
I am 100%.
You can go watch.
And Artez, you got how many projects do you have going on now?
No, no projects. Just playing a few games here and there, and just working. And be sure to check out my clothing brand website, teddyblaze.com. You can find us on Instagram at the Teddy Blaze, and on Twitter as well.
All right. And Moody, we still got Toy Kind of Mood coming.
Every week.
Still going strong.
Yeah,
Anything
we just did a big episode, huge, awesome episode on G.I. Joe. They're kind of just taking over with that Snake Eyes movie coming out. So everyone's excited getting back into the thing we loved in 1983. So, yeah, it's great to see the real American heroes back in the flesh. So, yeah, we did a big show on the Hasbro reveal. So check it out. Toy Kind of Mood. We're doing it every week on YouTube. A lot of fun.
Dope. And I will just shout out, just follow the Geekdom Gamescast on YouTube, and check out geekshavegame.com, right? That's a URL now. That's new.
That's it.
New
Yeah.
URL.
How you get used to saying that?
Yeah. it's a different tongue twister this time. But I will have a Biomutant review up whenever I finish that game. And I will expand way more on my thoughts there. And yeah, we'll be with you all of E3. Just shout us out at God Hates, or shit, at GH. What's the GH Twitter now? Were you able to change it?
Yeah, it's
on Twitter.
Yeah, it's Geeks Have Game.
All right.
What have you done, Moody?
At Geeks Have Game, I'm at Myke, NEMYKE. And until next time, we'll be saving a seat for you on the Rocket to Returnal. Fuck, that's not the newest game. What's the newest game, gentlemen?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna
Rift
And
apart.
it's a
Ratchet and Clank
rocket.
rift apart.
Yeah, that what he said. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. That was cool.
Hell yeah.